Hey guys, Ruckus Gaming here, coming at you with another episode of Tuesday Tips and Tricks. Today is the fourth installment of my series, What the Hell is Up with That? Where I take those cards that look confusing or challenging or just really intimidating, and newer players aren't really sure how to make the best use of them. So, we're going to take a look at a recent run that I did. I will run down the important cards and relics that you need to support the card we're going to talk about. I'll show you some clips from a run, and then we'll finish out with some other pieces that I didn't get in this run but could potentially help you out with in a future run to also keep an eye out for. Without further ado, let's just jump straight into it, and let's talk about fasting. I think this card scares away a lot of newer players. I know personally I avoided taking this for a really long time because despite the very obvious strong benefits that it provides, 3 strength or dexterity unupgraded, 4 strength and dexterity upgraded, but losing 1 less energy or gaining 1 less energy at the start of each turn just sounds very, very bad, especially considering how highly we value gaining extra energy, whether that is from cards or from boss relics. Getting 1 less energy feels really bad, and so I think a lot of new players don't want to pick this. Let's take a quick look at the run here, and obviously being the watcher, how you deal with gaining less energy per turn is by creating your own. And the easiest way to do that is just switching right out of Calm and into Wrath as often as possible. And that can make up for getting less energy to start each turn. The most important cards that helped me achieve this in my deck were Fear No Evil. This was great for getting into Calm, though it is dependent on your enemy attacking. So having another Calm source in addition to already having Vigilance in the starting deck is not a bad idea just as a backup. Crescendo was really great for creating quick energy and then exhausting itself out of the deck, reducing our overall deck size, making it easier to play the cards we need to play as we go through redraws. Scrawl was really great because it helped to draw these key cards, particularly Fear No Evil and the Crescendo, as often as possible, as quickly as possible, so I could change stances multiple times in a single turn, creating lots of extra energy and allowing me to play fasting. Empty Fist is another great card for getting energy quickly. You don't get into Wrath for the bonus damage, but it does get you out of Calm, and that can be just another way to create a little bit of extra energy when you need it. Some relics that were really good for helping us achieve successful fasting within our deck. Ice Cream is my favorite energy relic of all time. I think being able to bank extra energy from the end of one turn to start another is just incredibly valuable, and when you add in the capability for a watcher to create energy quite easily with her stance mechanics, then this becomes a very good way of solving any energy problem you might have. Orange pellets are always the first thing you think of when you think of cards that come with some sort of debuff for a side effect, such as biased cognition, or something like Wraith Form when you lose your focus or dex. This is a great way to get around that, and that is no less true on the watcher. Being able to play fasting as well as an attack and a skill in the same turn makes the downside of fasting completely disappear. So this is a perfect relic for using this kind of card. Runic Pyramid was very helpful, I think, just for the retain. You didn't always have the opportunity to play fasting right away. You did have to get a little bit of setup, at least with, getting into Calm than getting a Wrath card. You know, if you pull an early fasting, you might not be able to spare the energy yet. So when you do have cards that require a little bit of setup or draw order is important, Runic Beard solves that problem by letting you retain it in your hand until you get the cards you need. Of course, we do have a couple other energy relics here that are able to help us out: Gremlin Horn and Lantern. Now that we've taken a look at some of the basic pieces you'll need to make fasting work, let's take a look at fasting in action. We are going to pick it up right here from the very beginning of the Time Eater fight. I make a little bit of a mistake here. I play the power, skill, and attack before I play fasting, so the orange pellets doesn't actually trigger on the debuff when I play fasting. So now I've kind of put myself in a situation where I have to deal with the energy loss from fasting, but I will very quickly remedy that situation. I am playing a little slowly right now because it is Time Eater, and I want to make sure that I am finishing turns with the appropriate number of cards left to play. My goal is usually just to play 12 cards at a single turn, so I will not have to really worry about it. The absolute last thing you want is to get stuck with just one card and you get a big attack and can't block. So I'm doing my best to avoid that, but I want to get this fasting and play this turn for orange pellets, and then that will also take the debuff from this fasting, and I will be back to full energy with +8 strength and dexterity. Technically next turn after the vault, but we're gonna get our attack here, skill there, get the energy, and now we can play that fasting, cleanse that debuff, and we are fully skilled. And now it is just a matter of time before we take care of Time Eater. Jumping forward just a bit to turn 4, we are right about ready to take care of Time Eater, and it is all over for him. Here we're picking up Spear and Shield right from the beginning. We get probably the best possible setup we could with the early rushdown. The Talk to the Hand is bottled, so that was always going to happen. But with our Incense Burner on the correct turn, we don't need to worry very much about blocking. We get the fasting on the draw with Rushdown, while also having a skill and attack in hand. I'm just double making sure I have got enough energy for everything. Cleanse that debuff with orange pellets. I've already got one fasting. Now I just need to get that second one in. I get the second fasting on the very next turn, and I want to make sure that I have everything perfectly set up. I don't play it at the exact moment that I first could. I could afford to do it right now, but I want to make sure that I've got some calm and wrath under my belt, that I'm changing quickly and getting consistent energy so that I know I'm not going to accidentally run out. I just want to make sure I'm safe for this fight, but I do get around to adding that fasting in. I've got more than enough energy that I can use attacks and skills after this to get rid of this debuff, but I actually use that power itself to complete the orange pellet condition. All of these skills and attacks I had used previously were counting towards it, and then I use that power and it completed, so I didn't even have to worry about what came after. Now it is just a matter of time until I take care of Spire. And finally, let's check out the full heart fight. I start out with just a couple potions, may as well use them here, can't take them home with you when you're done. I get into my basic setup, trying to make sure I don't take any unnecessary damage from Beat of Death, even though I feel like I'll probably be okay. The deck is mostly infinite. I want to have as good a first turn as possible. These Fear No Evils do me no good when he's not attacking, so I decide to Gambler's Brew them away. I have quite a bit of draw going in my favor now, and I just want to keep going to see how much I can get done on this first turn. I do draw those fastings, and I probably could play one, but I just wanted to play it safe, use the vault to kind of hit a reset button. And now I'm absolutely sure I can get the power, skill, and attack all in one go. And I'm just very slowly and carefully considering how I'm going to spend it. But I get the skill first, got to block that Beat of Death. Then I hit up the first fasting, and I get rid of it with the zero cost attack. Very handy to have. Here we start to get into a little bit of an uh-oh moment. This deck is very reliant on getting out of calm for energy, and we just don't have any calm. Our hand is a little bit full, but such is the strength of Vault, and we are lucky that it lined up with our Incense Burner as well as drawing us a Fear No Evil, so we are able to get into our infinite rhythm, bouncing back and forth between Wrath and Calm, creating plenty of energy and allowing us eventually to get this fasting into play. From this point onward, it's basically just a matter of time until the heart is dead. We have a crazy amount of strength and dexterity, so we have no problem blocking even these quite heavy attacks. Despite our hand being somewhat hindered by the status cards, we have no problem playing lots of cards, creating energy, and clearing our hand well enough that we don't have any problems generating the block we need. We do use a potion here just to make it safely out and take advantage of the extra energy from Divinity to play that Conjure Blade. I took it a little bit earlier in the run after getting the ice cream and had never really been able to get much use of it. But we are finally getting to a point where I had enough extra energy and fully scaled up, was just waiting for the ability to get into Wrath to really lay the smack down on the heart. Alright, we're getting into Wrath now, and I'm ready to play that big expunger. And then, right before I do, I think, yes, I've got a strength potion. So, drink that up real quick. Take advantage of the damage multiplier and get 220 damage off of one big ass expunger. I already hit the damage cap here, but I leave Wrath so that I have enough block that this will be a perfect heart fight, 0 damage taken. Want to make sure I keep that perfect heart fight going, get the block. Energy, though I don't really need it. And for the final kill, 1 HP left. Might as well do it with Wrath. Now that we've seen the deck in action, let's check out some other interesting cards and relics that might make fasting even easier to pull off. Prostrate and other divinity cards such as Pray and Worship will provide the divinity status, which grants 3 extra energy and increases your damage. Of course, what we are most interested in is the increased energy, but if you can also do extra damage with the scaling from fasting, even better. Inner Peace and Meditate are other great ways to enter calm, especially Meditate, which would allow you to reach into your discard pile and retain that fasting until you had another chance to play it again. Add an establishment on top, and you may be able to reduce the cost of that fasting and make it even easier to play, as well as getting off extra cards. And Tantrum is another great way to enter Wrath. Its strength is being put back into the draw pile. With a very small deck and rush down, it often redraws itself. If you've got something similar with Inner Peace or Fear No Evil, you can go very quickly infinite, and then you won't have to worry about energy at all. If you are adding extra strength to your Watcher deck, that means you're going to be getting extra value out of a card like Crushed Joints. Adding extra damage with stacks of Vulnerable will be even stronger with this fasting buff. 0 cost cards like Flurry of Blows and also Weave will be more useful because the small amount of free damage they do will be that more useful and significant. Multi-hit attacks like Bowling Bash, or as we saw, Expunger, and area of effect attacks like Consecrate will also have a little bit more value with this added strength. There are many energy relics that could be very helpful, but some of my favorites are Runic Dome is kind of a fun pick here. I think a lot of people might already gravitate towards Coffee Dripper or Fusion Hammer, but one fun thing you can do when you have a card like Fear No Evil is you can use that to determine whether or not an enemy is currently attacking you, and that can really make a lot of decisions easier and remove the doubt when you're playing. So use little context clues like that, and Runic Dome is much easier to take. Snecko would be another great way to make fasting more playable. If you can get it low cost, you reduce the amount of damage that having fewer or less energy has. Expensive energy setup cards are always a good choice with Art of War. Mummified Hand can reduce other cards' cost after playing fasting, and with a little setup, Happy Flower provides great extra energy. Pocket Watch could be very good with expensive powers like fasting and improving the following turn after you've gotten the strength and dexterity. Violet Lotus is another great way to create extra energy as the Watcher, giving you 1 more extra energy every time you leave calm. Thank you guys for watching all the way to the end. I hope that this has been helpful and informative, and maybe the next time you guys see fasting in your Watcher run, you'll be able to take it and use it to take down the heart. As always, thanks for watching. Leave a like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. and I'll see you real soon with another episode of Tuesday Tips and Tricks. Have a great day.